Hey readers, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Paloma, and today's video are going to be the books on my October TBR. So let's get started. Firstly, I can't even believe that it's already October. Like, where has the year gone? It literally feels like summer had just started and now we're in October. This is so crazy. And so for the books that I'm going to be reading in October, a couple of them are in the mood of October. They're kind of spooky. But, I have to break it up a little bit just so I don't overwhelm myself with the amount of spookiness. So for October, I'm going to be reading The Murders in the Rue Morgue and Other Stories by Edgar Allan Poe. This is just a collection of his short stories, including The Cask of Amontillado, as well as The Fall of the House of Usher. There's other short stories in here that either I have never really read before, or I might have read it in school and I just forgot. But I'm really excited to read this. This, I think, is the epitome of the spooky vibe that I'm looking for in October. Then I'm going to be reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is more so just so I could say that I read it before the Emerald Fennel movie comes out. So I'm excited to read this. I don't know if it'll have the spooky vibe. Maybe it'll have more of a gothic vibe. I think that's what it is. Maybe. We'll see. I think I'm going to like it either way. I'm also in a book club with a friend of mine on TikTok. Her name is Astrid. And in the month of October, we're supposed to be reading Dracula. I'm waiting for my library to have that book ready for me, so I'm excited for that. That's one of those where I've never read the original text. I've only ever seen the movies. So I'm really, really excited to read the actual inspiration for Dracula from Bram Stoker's mind. I'm excited. And then I could pair it off with, the actual movies that have come after it and kind of see where it compares and things like that. Then I'm going to be reading The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. I'm really excited for that one. I think it's a vampire story that I've never really seen before, so I'm interested to see how it plays out and how vampires fit into that era of time, which is the 1840s during the Mexican-American War. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting. Then I'm going to be reading The Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm really, really excited for it. I've seen all kinds of people on TikTok review it and give it such good reviews that I don't want to hold too high of an expectation, especially when I get it from the library and then it kind of falls flat. So I'm kind of holding back, but I'm really excited to read it. I think it's going to be really interesting to read about a indigenous vampire. I think that's how the story goes, and kind of see what that's all about. This whole month of October is going to be a vampire craze, and I'm kind of blaming it on Sinners. I think Sinners, alongside Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, has really brought vampires back into the forefront. They've never really left, but we're seeing more nuanced stories with these vampire characters, and I'm excited for it. Then, to break up the vampire stories that I will be reading all month long, I have A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. This has been on my TBR for quite some time, so I'm really excited to dive into James Joyce's writing. This will be my first James Joyce. Again, I've heard such good things about this, so I'm really excited to get into it. Then I have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I'm honestly picking this up because not only have I seen good reviews about it on TikTok, but also that the movie is coming out. And from the trailer alone, it just looks devastating and heartbreaking. I just know that both the movie and the book are going to devastate me in ways I probably won't be able to comprehend. So I'm excited. Then I have Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. This will be my first Morrison. So I'm very, very excited to read this. There's no synopsis on the back, so I don't really know what the story is about. But you know what? When it comes to reading these kind of books, I typically don't try to read synopsis. And even though I've mentioned that I've seen TikTok reviews, I try not to watch TikTok reviews. I want to read the book as it is. And I have a feeling I'm going to be blown away because I have no expectations. But also, I kind of do because Toni Morrison is a celebrated author. So I don't know. I'm excited. The emotion is excited. I'll say that. I tried not to pick as many books as I could in the month of October because I've just started a corporate 9 to 5 job. So I'm really trying to find a balance between working this 9 to 5 job and then having all this time to read afterwards, because I personally don't like to read many books at the same time. Sometimes the stories just get muddled, and I'm like, well, aren't they supposed to be here? But that's a completely different book. So, and this character should be in that book, and things like that. So, I will try to find a balance. I will find it. I will make sure I do because this selection of books, it's going to be very ambitious, especially when the three books that I'm waiting for at the library finally come in. That'll be 8 books that I'm attempting to read in the month of October. Meanwhile, in September, I only read 4 books in the month of September. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm still rolling over some books from September into October. Very, very ambitious. So those are all the books that I'm going to be reading in October. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.